When people finish their estate plan, they often think they can just check it off the list and move on. But estate planning isn't something that you set and forget. Your life isn't static. Your family grows, your finances change, and the laws evolve. Even the most thoughtfully crafted plan can become outdated over time. And I get it. No one wants to spend money updating something that already feels done. But I promise you, it's a lot less expensive to call your lawyer and make a quick update than to deal with the financial fallout later. I've seen families pay thousands in legal fees, all because one account wasn't titled correctly or a trust wasn't updated. So in this video, let's talk about when it's time to review and update your estate plan and how doing it at the right time can protect your family and your finances. A good rule of thumb is to review your estate plan every 3 to 5 years. Even if nothing major has happened, it's worth pulling out your documents and giving them a once-over. Life isn't static. Your circumstances will change, your finances will shift, and even the laws around estate planning will continue to evolve. Think of it like a health checkup. You might feel fine, but it's still smart to make sure that everything's working the way that it should be and that it still reflects your current wishes. I often tell clients it's a good idea to pick a time that's easy to remember, perhaps the beginning of the year or during tax season, something that's going to make it a part of your rhythm so it doesn't fall through the cracks. One of the biggest reasons to review your estate plan is because your life has changed. Family changes are a big one. If you've gotten married or divorced, had a child, or lost a loved one, these are all the things that can affect your estate plan. And it's not just your own life. If your beneficiaries or the people that you've named in your documents have gone through a big life change, these things can matter too. Another common reason is that your children have grown up. Maybe you created a plan when they were little and it needed lots of structure and protection. But now they're adults and the plan that made sense then maybe seems too restrictive now. I see this a lot. For example, I work with couples to set up a simple plan for their first child. But when the second child comes along, a pot trust that allows multiple beneficiaries to inherit assets through one trust often makes more sense. Or maybe you now want to allow for broader distributions for things like a down payment on a house, or a wedding, or even starting a new business. Sometimes it's just about shifting wishes. The way that you thought about parenting and money management when your children were toddlers is probably much different now that you've gotten to know them as young adults. And that's completely normal. Estate plans are meant to grow and change with you. Another big reason to update your estate plan is if your financial situation has changed. Maybe you've bought or sold real estate, your first home, a rental property, or a vacation home. Anytime you acquire or let go of real property, it's worth checking to make sure it's properly titled and that it fits into your estate plan. I can't tell you how often I see assets left out of the trust by accident, and that can lead to probate, which is exactly what we're trying to avoid. Changes in wealth are another big trigger. You may receive an inheritance, sell a business, or make new investments that dramatically change the size and the shape of your estate. This could push you into another tax bracket or open up new planning opportunities that weren't available before. Here's a real-world example. I once had a client who opened a $500,000 investment account after they created their trust, but they never got around to transferring it into their trust. When they passed away, that one oversight triggered a full probate proceeding. It cost the family around $10,000 in court and legal fees, something that could have been avoided with a simple update. These are the kinds of things that we're looking for when we do a periodic review. Small adjustments now can save your family a lot of stress and money down the road. Even if your family and finances haven't changed much, the law might have, and that's reason enough to pull out your plan and take a second look. Estate planning laws don't stay the same. In fact, they've been changing more frequently in recent years. If your documents are more than a few years old, chances are there's something outdated within them. For example, here in California, Proposition 19 has changed how tax reassessments work when property is handed down to children. Before Prop 19, a parent could pass their home along to their child without a major tax hike. Now, depending upon the situation, that same transfer can result in a reassessment and a large tax hike for your children. We've also seen big changes with the retirement account rules. Under the old laws, beneficiaries could stretch out distributions over their lifetimes. Now, in many cases, your children have to take distributions over a 10-year period, resulting in hefty tax hikes if your estate plan hasn't been updated to reflect these changes. And then there's the estate tax exemption. It has gone up dramatically in the last decade. In 2026, individuals will now be able to shelter $15 million in assets from estate tax, or $30 million for a couple. This small change alone means that most couples can dramatically simplify the tax planning in their estate planning documents. The bottom line is, your estate plan may have been perfect when you created it, but if the legal landscape has shifted, that very same plan may be working against you. So what happens if you don't update your estate plan? First, an outdated plan can cause serious family conflict. If your documents don't reflect your current relationships and wishes, your family could be left guessing, or worse, fighting over what you intended. In addition, assets may not pass the way that you intended. Maybe you added a new account and you forgot to include it in the trust. Maybe someone you no longer want to be involved with is listed as a beneficiary or a decision maker within your documents. These kinds of oversights can create confusion and conflict at a time when your family is already under so much stress. There's also the risk of missing out on important tax-saving opportunities. If your estate has grown or the laws have shifted, there may be tax planning opportunities available to you now that weren't available before. Without an update, these opportunities are left on the table. And finally, not updating your estate plan can lead to increased legal costs. I've seen families spend thousands of dollars in court because an asset wasn't properly titled or a trust structure wasn't updated to reflect current laws. These are entirely avoidable problems, which is why a periodic review of your documents is a necessity. At the end of the day, periodic reviews give you peace of mind. You can feel confident knowing that your estate plan reflects your life, your wishes, and your goals as they are today, not as they were 5 years or 10 years ago. So, if it's been more than a few years since you've taken a look at your documents, now's the perfect time to review them. And you don't have to figure it out on your own. I offer a free consultation, whether you're a new client or just somebody who needs to take a second look. I also have a review checklist that can help get you started. So reach out. Let's make sure your plan works the way you want it to.